What I love about Lebanon is that it's home, and I can do things like I can take my son for a walk, and we can visit the monastery and the churches, I should say, that are along our street, and we can, go and get croissants and watch the nuns choose out their pastries, and then like 5 minute walk to the west, I can, haggle over, antique furniture with a woman who's completely covered and is Muslim. And, um, and I know that that sounds like the stereotype that is Lebanon, but it is Lebanon in a lot of ways. It is a place of coexistence. It is a place where, you can walk into a bar and see people drinking and then, see somebody with their head covered and they're just sipping on a 7 Up because they don't drink, but their friends do. And, they're in the bar to hang out with their friends. I love Lebanon because the Mediterranean Sea is never that far away, but there are mountains that are equally as close. And it's very green, and my family's here, and it's chaotic, but it's also very beautiful, and it's chaos and very, it's the chaos has some sort of organized vein within it, where you have to kind of know the system and how to maneuver it, but there is some sort of organization. That's what I do love about Lebanon. What I love about Afghanistan is how dramatic the landscapes are, and it literally is desert to, mountains, craggly mountains to like all of a sudden a green landscape. I love the fact that it's more ethnic, the divides, rather than sectarian, although there is that too. But, it is a place that that the Brits kind of messed up creating because, as one U.S. military official told me when I asked him, I first arrived in 2010, and I said, so, jokingly, so what are the problems here? And he pointed to the map and he said, well, the problem is the Brits really messed this up and they created a country that never should have been created. And they took a little bit from Turkmenistan and a little bit from Uzbekistan and a little bit from Pakistan and here and there, and they made it into this country called Afghanistan. And how the ethnic identities are such a strong part of the fabric of the country, and the fact that like you can talk to people who have never have never seen a camera before, and you can meet those people, but then at the same time you can also meet like young entrepreneurs who are totally tech savvy and they're in the heart of the capital and they're trying to do interesting things and provide interesting services to people in their country. You really do feel like the ancientness of the place while you're there, and just how small you are in the nature of the place because it's such a huge country that's so vast. I mean, imagine skies that are like, middle America skies, like being out on the plains, but throughout the entire country and these like impossible mountains that just kind of come out of the middle of nowhere. So I love Afghanistan for that. What do I love about Dubai? Dubai is kind of a different matter. I mean, I guess what I like about Dubai is the fact that the ruling family there really has some sort of vision. People might call it corrupt, but at the end of the day, the monarchy there has some sort of vision. And you could also say, well, they're incredibly wealthy and they have all this oil and it's a very small population, so it's easier for them. And that's true. But we've also seen people really mess that up in terms of greed, right? The same exact equation that's just been completely ruined and overtaken by greed. And the royal family there really does have, I think, the greatest vision that the Middle East has seen in the last decade or two. And you really feel that they're trying to build something for the future and they're looking beyond today, but to tomorrow and next week and the years to come, and for a time when oil runs out. And you have to admire that in a region where such vision is just completely ruined and bogged down by corruption or, sectarian strife. So,
Hi Maria, it's Diane from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Um, this was a very interesting article for you to post. And again, thank you for your insight on what and how you sort of feel about these countries. What do you feel? What is your personal feeling about the royal family in Lebanon? You don't say much about that, so that would be really interesting to hear. With regards to Dubai, yes, I think you're right that even though corruption does exist, but where doesn't it, to be honest, they do have a future vision for Dubai, for the UAE. They want to see that work. They don't want to see the oil run out and they're left with nothing. So that I do believe that there is a vision there, and I agree with you. It's a pity the other ruling families across the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia, don't have that same vision. As for Afghanistan, well, I will take umbrage at you saying about the fact that the Brits have basically stuffed it up. But I won't disagree with you. I mean, I think, as I said, I'm from South Africa originally, and yeah, they didn't do a very good job of South Africa either, to be brutally honest. But neither did many of the colonial powers, and I'm afraid that includes the United States as well. You guys didn't do a very good job of some of the places you took over or ruled for a while, anyway. So yeah, but again, brilliant, to hear your insights around these three countries. I can only imagine in my mind's eye, I can see Afghanistan, I can see how rugged, how beautiful the country is. It's just a pity about the people, isn't it? Certainly the ruling class or the politicians or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, no, once again, thank you. Lovely to hear from across the world what is going on there. Cheers.
Hi, Diana. This is Nick. Yes, Florida sticks out from North America like a little finger sticking at the bottom of the East Coast. And so Florida has an East Coast for Florida and a West Coast for Florida that goes to the Gulf of Mexico, but don't mistake that for the West Coast of North America, which is California, Oregon, and Florida, and Mexico. Yeah, as far as Lebanon's concerned, yeah, it's pretty much, I have no idea where it's going to go. But I do know the United States has nuclear weapons. I guess we have the biggest nuclear arsenal in the world. And we got that nutcase, Trump, who thinks that nuclear weapons should be used in war. He calls it, well, if you have nuclear weapons, you should use them. A limited nuclear war? Where? He says he wants to break up NATO. Maybe drop nuclear weapons on parts of Europe. The man's absolutely nuts. That's why I say, no more Republicans. No more Republicans. And no more Tories.
Hi there. I've never been to either Lebanon or Afghanistan, but I have been to Dubai, and I like Dubai. A lot of people don't, but I think if you've lived there, or if you've been there for an extended period of time, or if you've been an expatriate, I really enjoy it. I think a lot of people who are used to their own country, like I know a lot of people in the UK they've traveled, but they've never been an expatriate, so to speak, and they just go somewhere for a few days and then go back to the UK. And I know a few people there who have been like, oh, Dubai is fake and, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, Dubai does have some downsides, but there are a lot of things I like about Dubai as well. So, and thank you for sharing, because I've never been to Lebanon, but I would like to go there one of these days. I like Haifa YB and some other singers. I think Haifa is Lebanese, isn't she?
Maria, thank you for sharing your thoughts on Lebanon, your hometown in Afghanistan, and the different thoughts of the varying culture that's going on. My son went to Kurdistan last year to do some filming, and he said the place was amazing, and the hills, he went up in the hills, and he said the scenery is fantastic, and you saw the oldest village in the world, which is like 12,000 years old. So I wonder if you've been into Kurdistan, around that area.